Alright, in the last video you saw that we got the core support off. Working on getting some stuff cleaned up, taking care of this thing. So this is where we're at with it. It's amazing how far just some simple green or purple power, purple power and power washer can go with some hot water. I've got the hose hooked up to the hot water, and this thing's already a lot cleaner. I blew off the outside, and all it did was make the outside dirtier. So however that works, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Just trying to get this thing clean. It's on a second coat, trying to get all the little nooks and crannies, get everything cleaned up, and when we go to pull this thing apart, it's nice when it's not filthy and greasy. So that's what we're doing right now, is just trying to clean this thing up. I have to take a trip, like I said in the last video, out to Pull and Save, our local salvage yard, and try and get this front core support. I'm gonna also try and get a rope or something around this lower part and see if we can get that pulled back into place, kind of the hillbilly way, if you will, because it's not that bad. So yeah, that's where we're at for now. Back on the green Civic sedan. It's late Sunday. I'm just trying to kind of find things to do here and there. Something that you obviously saw in this video earlier was just I'm trying to do the cleaning side of things with under the hood and the paint and stuff like that. So I will show. I didn't do anything before, so it's hard to tell. This trunk lid was in really bad shape. It looked really bad, and not that it's not perfect now by any means, but it is 100 times better than what it was. Yeah, so basically I have a wool pad that I went over first and got all the big stuff out, and then I do have a foam pad using some 3M stuff, machine polish. It's what was recommended. So I did do the whole trunk lid, which was really bad. I don't know, it's hard to tell on camera. There are still a ton of scratches and real light scratches. I may try and do that. I mean, this one really stood out. It was it almost looked white, it had almost gotten through to the primer or something. But yeah, I used the wool pad, and then the foam pad on it, and it made the trunk look a lot better. Also, it's gonna be hard to tell, but because the light's not quite right, there was a really big scuff right here in the corner. It looked bad now. There's just little tiny imperfections. Maybe I can do this. So if you walk over and look in this side of the bumper, You can see how dingy and dull it is, and then all of a sudden it gets nice and clean. So this side was worse than what this side is. So I don't even know if that's really showing up on camera. So the next thing I'm gonna try is, the roof is absolutely horrendous. I'd say the roof is probably worse than what the trunk was. A lot of imperfections. So I'm gonna start with the wool pad and just do this side right here. I may even throw a piece of tape down just to kind of show how far we're getting, to have a good comparison. So that's what I'm gonna do next, so we'll get on to that.
Sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. Sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. I said I'm sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. Sipping on my lean and I'm sipping on my lean and I'm sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. Sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. I said I'm sipping on my lean and I'm with my fucking team. Sipping on my lean and I'm sipping on my lean and I'm sipping on my lean and I'm
Okay, we're back on this, and I think you should be able to tell where the line is. So this is that spot that was really bad. Obviously, it's like I said in the trunk, it's not perfect paint to begin with, but it's definitely a lot better with a little work put into it. So if you look over here, you can just see all the flaws. And I started with the worst spot on the roof, I feel like. So you can just see how bad it is. And then, like I said, there's this spot that it just looks baked or sun faded, I guess. But the rest of the roof, you can see the line there, so. Yeah, kind of cool. Just bringing this thing back a little bit. I did all through here, so the paint's obviously not the best, but I've definitely seen way worse. And for what we're into the car and what we're doing and things like that, I can live with it. There's just a lot of work to get it all cleaned up, so. Yeah, and this obviously isn't my profession, detailing or anything like that. I have a few supplies. I'm sure there's ways that I can make it look better. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not here and I'm not trying to tell people how to do this. I'm just simply documenting for the car that this is what we're doing, making it look a little bit better. I guess you can see the line where tape was. So. Definitely made a huge difference. So I guess we'll just keep trucking along. I'm not going to do too much more on it today, so I'm not sure where we'll go with the video, but I don't know if I'll be able to get really up here. And yeah, it's a little too far away, but so you can kind of see the line, but I just thought that was pretty cool. Getting some before and after, and yeah, we'll just try and do what we can do to make this thing look pretty nice as it can be without getting a respray or body work or anything like that. So yeah, I guess we'll just keep going. And while I'm here, I'll show you. We had this thing out in the sun, a little bit of sun we had. Everything in here is just really clean now. Like, this is the way we like things. I spent probably 3 hours just degreasing and washing and purple powering and things like that. So obviously just without a brush or just, you know, just straight water, you know, with pressure, you're not going to get every bit off, but it's definitely 100 times better than it was. So everything's really clean. So once we get the motor out, we can keep going with the cleaning part, and we'll eliminate all the stuff we don't need, and just get this all cleaned up. And like I said, we got to get this upper core support put in, which is right here. It's obviously the blue color, so we're gonna have to maybe get thinking about hitting up a painter that we know and seeing what he would charge just to paint the whole bay once we get everything kind of situated and everything pulled off and cleaned up, and just have the bay painted, so at least that part's done. So yeah, if you're watching this, maybe shoot us an idea of what color you think would go cool if we wanted to change up the color in the bay. Obviously light colors show grease and dirt a lot more, but I don't know if we want to go with black or something like that. So I don't know, maybe just kind of throw it in the comments, and if you have an idea of what a cool color would be to go along with the green to paint the inside of the bay, maybe set it off a little bit. I know a lot of people do like the battleship gray or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Throw in some ideas, and we'll just keep rolling on with this thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this top core support rail. This was the one that was originally off the car. I kind of got it finagled back into shape rather than going out and cutting another one out. So got all the paint kind of worn off of it. And then I'll just gonna grab the welder and start kind of tacking it in. I'm gonna tack a couple of spots that are easy to get apart, and I'll test fit it up there and see how it looks from there. All right, guys. So back with the new Project Civic. We did end up getting the core support all put in. I'll weld it in. Threw some paint on it. We couldn't find any exact color paint real quick. I just wanted to get paint on it so we get the front end back together. I'm gonna try and drive it a little bit because my other daily is either the GTR or a diesel, and neither one gets good gas mileage. So I just kind of wanted to get it back together and drive it. So this is where we're at. So much nicer. Everything on the front end lines up. That lower crossbar, I did get that pulled back out in kind of a you know, pretty archaic way. I actually just wrapped a tow strap around it and hooked it to my truck and backed up until I pulled it back into place. So obviously it's been compromised, and we just have to remember to really try and stay away from jacking it up right there or anything like that. So that's not a big deal. Eventually I'll probably put a traction bar in, which will be good for that. So yeah, I think that's it for maybe this episode. We'll call this like episode 2 or something like that, taking care of the front end. So we are still looking for a green front bumper. If anybody has one, I'd like to do a nice grill. And like I said, maybe this is obviously one of these cheap hoods, and it's all smashed up right on that little edge. So, and it's not painted the right color. So I'd really like to do a carbon fiber hood. So yeah, getting ready for the next step, which is to kind of address some of the interior stuff. The interior is absolutely crusty. It's clean for the most part, but it's just the small fine stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is clean the interior and get that in shape. So I've been driving it the last few days, other than the motor making some noise. You know, it's not too bad. So, but that's probably going to do it for this one. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far, and I'll just keep going as we have updates. Like I said, this is going to be back to a B-Series car. and we've already had a few people reach out to us and offer some parts and some things like that that hopefully we can use. After the red Integra, I kind of eliminated a lot of B-Series stuff I had just because I was kind of burnt out and over it, but I could only stay away for so long. So who knows, maybe this will end up with a 3-piece front end on it, and it'll never be to what the red car was, but you know, the idea is to go 10s with it. I don't know. I haven't decided what we're gonna do to address the cage situation, because I'd ultimately like to not put a cage in it, but it should go fast enough that it'll probably need it. So I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So for now, the main thing is just get it together, get a B-Series in it, get it on some power. I think it's going to be a stock sleeve piston rod motor. Cripes, and they're beating crap up in there. But yeah, like I said, stock sleeve piston rod motor. Try and piece together a GSR trans, you know, kind of the normal deal that we do. And we're going to start off with just kind of some stuff we got laying around. So like a cheap knockoff turbo that is in good shape. So it's going to go together with some cheap stuff, and then just to see what we do. And then obviously it's, you know, it'll progress how these things always do, and we'll get there. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. This will be my outro, and we're going to keep working on this thing, and I'll keep bringing you content as we have it. So hope you guys are enjoying it. Stick around. Yep. Have a good day. See you in the next one.